wrap it up. Coming home. Got a lot of stuff checked off. Still need to weld up the parking brake and kind of decide what I'm going to do that there. I've never built an exhaust before. That's not true. I've never gotten one of these kits that have, it's just a box of different parts. There's like 4 of these. There's just 4 of each. This is the catalytic converter and downpipe off of the 92 Corvette, and it has a pretty shallow slope. What I want to try to do is not necessarily mimic it identically, but I want to get it pretty shallow. And so I took my initial downpipe, I chopped off, I don't know, about 2 inches. And now I think what I'm going to do to mimic that is cut that off right in the middle. And then if I have that right in the middle, it will be fairly shallow. So I don't really have any special technique to do this rather than the old eyeball test. Now I will go chop that. So I wrapped up the exhaust. Over here on the driver's side, I looped out around the oil filter. It sits just the bottom of the exhaust and the oil filter are the same. Over here I went more straight back, but I did angle it just slightly to get around the starter. And then I brought them together. Underneath, I have the crossover X-pipe, and then I'm gonna come up. These are not in yet. These are just to keep them off the fuel tank, the exhaust off the fuel tank. I'm going to cut these after I get the body on. Cut these so they can come out to about here. Exhaust complete. Here's what I've decided to do for the return line. I think I'm gonna poke it in the far side so I can run a piece of tube from the top down pretty close to this. Also perfect. That's just what I'm doing, screwing them down, squishing them together. So off my new fuel line, I just kind of measured like this, cut off a piece. So just need to clean it out a little bit. Now we'll take this giant contraption, find the 3/8, and I think I just go like this. I don't really know. Oh man, that's perfect. Okay. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I did a dumb move. Rookie mistake. I needed to put those on first. So that sucks. So I think I'll just put it in right there. Have a bit of it running down, not to splash too bad. Return line, I bought it. I punched the return, wrapped in the tank. And then after that, I'll go pick up the body. After all that, got the checklist done, and now the car's home. And I am pretty excited. So what it looks like I need to do now, what I want to do, is take all of this and clean it up so it looks a little bit more presentable. Painless makes a wiring harness for the 75 Corvette just for this section. So I might look into that. There were a couple issues that I had with the body. One, the gear shift does come back maybe 2 or 3 inches, which puts it in an awesome position, I think. However, the tunnel, the drive shaft is rubbing on the entire tunnel. So the park brake won't work there. So I got to figure out what to do for an emergency brake. Man, I've been missing that crowbar for a long time, and it's been sitting out in there. So I'm gonna cut the tunnel, and I think I can expand it about 1 inch on each side, and I'm gonna raise it up a few inches also. And I'll get into the structure of the rear wall, but I think I can alter that just a little bit. Then I also have to drop the floorboards on both sides so I can fit those Porsche seats in. And then after that, I'll get this fiberglassed, and then it will turn to bodywork. I just can't believe how cool this is. Look how cool this is. Turned out just so cool. I also have a problem with the body mounts, so I couldn't get some of the old ones off, and we were kind of limited a little bit. And this is just so cool. It's just so amazing how, like, if I have a problem with this car, I'll be able to do valves, springs, probably take a cam out, all just while it's right there. And if I ever have to replace an OptiSpark, it looks very accessible as long as I get the radiator and fans out. I am glad to have it back home so I can start tinkering around with it. Now I get to work on everything else. Put Humpty Dumpty back together. My hope is that this doesn't take forever, but it seems like it's going to be a little bit of a project. I believe the next step in this project is to sit down and make another checklist of, since I got the body on, because the checklist thing is actually working really well, and just go along checking boxes until there's no more boxes to check. Pretty excited.